Hello, everyone. This is Marie Holiday, and welcome to another one of my screen lectures. And before we get in today's very important lecture, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. You know, my YouTube channel truly would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. And also, I want to remind everyone to make sure you mark your calendar for March the 29th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another one of my relational lectures, and that topic is going to be how to write a successful business goal. So that's one lecture you do not want to miss. And if you're a content creator, you got a community wall, or post it on your community wall section on your YouTube channel. Spread the word. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is the topic of this lecture, which is, do not quit your job just because you are a content creator. Just because you are a content creator. My channel is over 4 years old. I've been monetized going on 3 years. So especially if you are a content creator, do not quit your primary W-2 full-time job, people, just because you are a content creator. Or if you are not a content creator and you're thinking about becoming a content creator and to get monetized and you already got a job, keep your job. Keep your full-time primary job, because let me break this thing down to you, people. Although I'm fully retired, I retired September of 2023. From state government. So, even though I'm not in the workforce, I get a couple of pensions for the rest of my life, and to include medical benefits. And in addition, I'm a veteran. So I got income. I still, even though I'm not in the workforce, I still have a primary source of income with benefits that I will have for the rest of my life. Simultaneously, by being also a content creator, monetize, and I make revenue on a monthly basis. But even if I was not retired, and I wasn't going to quit my job just because I became a content creator. No, because as a content creator, we get a 1099 at the end of the year. We are considered independent contractors if your channel is monetized. So with that being said, when you are an independent contractor for any employer, for any stakeholder, you don't get no benefits behind that. You don't get no medical and no dental and no 401 and no retirement and medical benefits and dental benefits for yourself and your family. You don't get none of that. All you get is the money you make as being a content creator or 1099 person. Rather you got a contract with Delta, rather you got a contract with any type of organization that generates a 1099, all you get is that money you make, and that's it. Everything else falls on you. You're going to be responsible if you have no other income but you get money from YouTube. So you're going to be responsible for setting up your own 401. You're going to be responsible for paying for your own medical insurance for yourself and your family. You're going to be responsible for paying for life insurance and dental insurance and vision insurance for yourself and your family. You're going to be responsible for making sure you're paying into Social Security. You're going to be responsible to make sure you're paying into Social Security. All that on you. And if you're an independent contractor anywhere, this real talk. So, because I listen to a lot of people on these social media platforms, and they trying to popularize and pump into people's minds, quit your job, quit your full-time job, quit your W-2 job, quit your day job or whatever shift you want, and just become a YouTube content creator so you can make a whole bunch of money. Folks, let me tell you something. I got well over 360,000 subscribers, and with brand deals. And I'm going to tell you something about being a 1099 content creator. I don't care how much money I make or don't make. I'm not going to base my livelihood off of YouTube income in any shape, form, or fashion. Ain't never in my life based my livelihood on no one doggone income. Even when I was in the workforce prior to retiring, I always simultaneously made money under my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center. And I'm still generating money under my company. I just got a little bit more time now to generate money under my company since I'm retired. But my point is, ain't never in my life just relied on one income. I always made money under my company using my credentials, my talents, my skills. Becoming a content creator is just something else I added under my company. So I say that to say, you got to have multiple streams of income, people. So don't quit your job. Do not quit your job and say, oh, I'm just going to become a content creator and make a whole lot of money. Because let me tell you something. Before you begin to see significant money, my channel is going on being monetized. It'll be pretty soon my channel will be monetized, hitting 3 years, being monetized, getting a check every month. You ain't going to start out seeing no significant money, people. You ain't gonna start out early on getting monetized, and what I mean by significant money, when you're making enough money where your money from YouTube is exceeding your primary source of income. Rather it's your job, rather it's your retirement check. So now you're making significant money. The amount of money you're making every month is far exceeding money from your primary source of income. So you better be wise and strategic with that money and invest in that money. But it takes time to get to that level. You know, as a 1099 independent contractor, you can do very well financially for getting a YouTube check on one particular month. You can make $4,000 or $5,000 one month, or however amount content creators make based off the performance of their channel. And the next few months, you're making $100. So my point is, you cannot base your livelihood, people, on an income that is going to fluctuate based on your ad revenue. Your income that's going to fluctuate based off your brand deals. Your income that's going to fluctuate based off super chats, the money you make from membership. You can't base your livelihood all in the hands of one stakeholder, YouTube. That's financial suicide. I'm keeping it real. The most wealthiest people in the world, people, got multiple streams of income. Donald Trump, with all the wealth he got multiple streams of income. The most richest people in this world, the 1%ers, got multiple streams of income. So what would make you think, just because you're a content creator and your channel's monetized and you getting that monthly check every month, what would make you think that it would make good business sense to quit your job? And now all you got is one check every month from YouTube. And that's all you got. And then with that money you're making from YouTube, you better be investing into your own 401. You better purchase your own medical insurance, life insurance, dental insurance for yourself and all of your minor children. You better be paying your federal and state taxes. You better be paying into Social Security. So by the time you do all of that, from that one little check from YouTube, how much is really left, people? If you're doing all that, you got folks out here making money from YouTube and they ain't paying, they ain't got no 401 set up. They ain't got no medical insurance and life insurance and dental insurance for themselves and their kids. So if they get sick, it can be a dental emergency. Try going to a dentist and you ain't got no dental insurance. Rather it's for yourself or your child. You can easily get into medical debt. I don't care how young or old you are. If you're behind, ain't got no insurance. Try not having no medical insurance, dental insurance, life insurance. You can create financial destruction for yourself and your family. Real talk, people. So I tell anybody, I had a conversation with a few people throughout this week. Yeah, I'm going to become a content creator. I see a lot of these content creators flashing their money on social media. And to me, that's immature to flash your money. It's no different if you got a W-2 job. What you look like going on social media, letting the whole world know this is the salary I made under my W-2 job. Really? For real? Because I'm going to tell you something. The content creators who really making significant money, we ain't flashing our money. The only person who's going to know about Marie Holiday monthly checks is my certified public accountant, God and Marie Holiday. Real talk, people. Because the way I was raised, there's certain things you don't tell about your life in certain areas of your life, your finances, your medical, and what's going on under your household. You don't put your business out there like that. So why would it be any different just because you're a content creator that you want many of these content creators, got the cameras rolling on them 24/7 and letting everybody know what their monthly check look like and how much they made for this month? Really? I'm telling you, people, I had a conversation with about 3 people this week, and I told them, my channel, my channel has reached a whole nother stratosphere. My channel as a monitor, and I work hard to get my channel to this level. And I told the few people I spoke to this week, but that don't mean you quit your job. Or if you're only doing YouTube and you retire and got income, you still got other sources of income. And I say that all these other reasons that I just stated on this live stream in terms of reasons why you don't quit your primary W-2 job, because with your full-time primary W-2 job comes a host of benefits other than your salary, people. You got to think about all that. Real talk. And that's what people don't want to talk about. It's become, like I said, so popular. You got a lot of these. I listen to a lot of people in the real world. I listen to a lot of people on these social media platforms, and they pumping into people's minds who just quit your job and become a content creator and make a whole lot of money. But I'm gonna tell you something, people, you don't really see no significant money until your channel is beyond monetized. My channel became eligible for major brand deals August of last year. When my channel became eligible for major brand deals, I had been monetized for a while. When my channel became eligible for major brand deals August of last year, I had well over, at that point in time, 300,000 plus subscribers, people. Blood, sweat, and tears. When you can pierce the veil as a content creator, and you're making brand deals where major companies are going to pay that content creator to go into a contractual agreement to run their product and services and brand across their channel. That's when you begin to see significant money, bottom line. But you notice I said my channel at that point was already in a stratosphere of people. I had long been monetized. So, and even with that don't mean you haul off and quit your doggone job. And I'm going to tell you another reason why you don't haul off and quit your job just because your channel is monetized and whatever amount of money you're making, that's between you and your CPA. But I'm going to break this thing down to you. Another reason why you should never quit your primary job, or you should have some other source of primary income in addition to making money off YouTube. For example, I'm going to ask a thought-provoking question. What if you violate the community guidelines? I don't care how big your channel is. What if you violate the community guidelines as a monetized content creator? And what's going to happen? YouTube is going to shut your channel down. And when your channel gets shut down, guess what? All your money gone overnight, just like that, immediately. And I mean immediately. There are many big content creators, making big money. Into a whole nother stratosphere income. Violated those community guidelines, and YouTube shut down that channel, people. And imagine for a moment if their income from YouTube was their only source of income. They had no other income. That was their only source of income. Now the channel shut down overnight. Then what? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to take care of your kids? How are you going to sustain yourself if your channel, your income flow got shut down overnight? Real talk, people. And I've known people, channels got shut down prior to payday from YouTube. That check could have been a $15,000 or $20,000 check. That's what's getting ready to hit. But if the channel gets shut down prior to that check getting ready to hit, guess what? You ain't getting that $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You know why? Because your channel got shut down. Because when your channel gets shut down, your money evaporates. It's gone immediately overnight. And that's more of a reason why you should not quit your primary job, or you should have some other source of income, rather it's 401, retirement, Social Security, or your spouse may be working a full-time job, money coming to your household. That way, I got 2 retirement checks. I get a VA retirement check. I get a state retirement check. And when I get old enough, I get Social Security. So I got 2 checks right now that ain't even counting my YouTube check. I got 2 checks right now to include benefits, medical benefits, life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, top-notch insurance, in addition to 2 pensions that will hit me for the rest of my life, whether YouTube pay me or not. I don't base my livelihood waiting on a check, people. This is real talk. And this is how I explained it to a couple of young people who I was talking to today, who believe into this hype. Yeah, I'm just gonna quit my full-time job. All these people on this social media platform flashing their money, talking about how easy it is. It ain't easy, people. I've gone through some doors to get my channel to this level. And I work harder now than ever before as a content creator to continue to push my channel into a whole nother stratosphere and to maintain it, people. So you should not, I tell anybody, you should not quit your primary W-2 job to become a monetized content creator. You should only view whatever money you make from YouTube as another source of income, as another stream of income. Bottom line, people, and this is real talk. And I consider, well, I don't really consider myself as a bigger channel, but other people from the outside in see me as a bigger channel. No, I'm just keeping it real. I operate and function the same way now compared to when I only had 2 subscribers, people. I work harder now with 360,000+ subscribers. I work harder now than when I only had 2 subscribers. So this is real talk. People need to hear this, because when I first stumbled upon YouTube almost 5 years ago, because my channel's a little over 4 years old. And when I first stumbled upon YouTube almost 5 years ago, and I was seeing some of these people on YouTube platform, and they were, many of them was talking about how all this money they making and how easy it was. In my mind, way back then, before I really dove deep and did my own due diligence and investigation about this YouTube thing, and as I studied those community guidelines. But even way back then, inside of me, I knew ain't no way in the world this could be this easy. No, it ain't nothing. I knew, even though you got some of these content creators making it sound like, oh, they making all this money, how easy it is. But see, there's a lot of stuff they ain't telling you. Like this stuff I'm talking about right now, I'm spitting this knowledge. See, they ain't talking about that. They ain't talking about all that behind the scene important stuff if they're doing it the correct way in managing their money. They ain't talking about that. But way back then, before I was educated on myself on the community guidelines, I knew way back then, because of the way I was raised, ain't nothing in this world of true value to include getting your channel monetized, people. And abiding by those community guidelines and sustaining the growth of your channel. Ain't nothing in this world of real, true value is gonna come quick and fast, bottom line. Because if it comes too quick, you're behind, better run from it. It took me 2.5 years of blood, sweat, tears in the trenches to monetize my channel. And let me break that thing down to you. What that mean was, I was still in the workforce at the time, working for state government. I would get off work every day, and I will go to a nearby gas station for 3 or 4 hours after I don't work the long shift to meet people in the real world, to market my channel, to get subscribers for my channel, to explain my channel to people I met at that gas station, to establish that rapport. And I did that for almost a solid year, and that took work because I was in the trenches. I was living in North Carolina at the time, and that's how I was able to get my first. Because back then, I had the criteria back then was you had to earn 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within the 365 days. And people, it took me 2.5 years in the trenches to monetize my channel. Now, that ain't easy. That ain't easy in any shape, form, or fashion in any way you look at it. Because the first year, I remember, it took me a solid year to get 100 subscribers. I said, ain't no way in the world I'm going to be able to monetize my channel if it took me a whole year to get 100 subscribers. So going into the second year of my channel, that's when I had to shift my mindset and revamp my strategic plan. And I said, only way I'm going to be able to get that first 1,000, I got to get my behind out there in the real world in my zip code. And I was walking up to well over 100 plus strangers a month until I hit that 1,000. I was literally walking up to 100 strangers in my zip code and engaging them in dialogue. Because I have a way of pulling information out of people. So just imagine walking up to 100 plus strangers a month in your zip code like you're running for office. And I may have had to approach 150 people a month to get 100 subscribers per month, because everybody who I approach and engage in extensive dialogue each month, not all of them subscribe to my channel. So it was probably about a good 150 strangers for about 11 months, and my zip code did all that to work until I hit my first 1,000 subscribers. I was averaging at that point 100 new natural subscribers from the natural environment a month. And that's how I was able to get my first 1,000 subscribers, people. And who do you know do that? And what was happening is I became so known in my zip code, because I'm going into extensive conversation and follow-up conversation with well over 100 people a month in my zip code. So what was happening is I would run into some of the same people in my zip code. And I knew that they were watching my videos, because then they would say, man, I was listening to some of your videos and they were on point. So now I'm running into some of these same 100 people, and we will go into follow-up dialogue. There we go. And it wasn't all about just my YouTube channel. I learned so much information from these 100 people per month in my zip code, 100 plus people per month in my zip code. I knew things like their goals and dreams and aspirations. You know, the kids were in college. One was getting ready to be a new father. So I sucked up this knowledge, people. At the same time, building this rapport. And of those 100 plus people that I got to subscribe to my channel per month, what was happening is I noticed my watch hours were rising and rising and rising. I'm getting these comments from these 100 plus people a month that I met in my zip code, and I called the first 1,000 subscribers on my channel. That first 1,000, they all in the same zip code in North Carolina. I live in Georgia now. That's the foundation of my channel. That's the core. There we go. That first 1,000 is the core of my channel, because without that first 1,000, my channel would have never got monetized. Without that first 1,000, I wouldn't be at 360,000 subscribers. That's my core. That's my base. And I'm telling you, and I went up there Monday through Friday. I was at the gas station on weekends. I was working 10-hour shifts on my job when I was with state government. Get off work, go to that gas station. I got to know the cashiers. They all knew me, and I was handling my business. And I did that for about 11 or 12 months until my channel got monetized, people. And that's work. And see, folks don't want to talk about that. Ain't nothing with what I just described is easy. I had to be internally driven, people, to monetize my channel. It took me 2.5 years to monetize my channel, and the rest is history. Real talk. I still get subscribers from the natural environment, but not at that level. I mean, it was like I was running for office. It got to the point I couldn't go nowhere in my zip code without running into those 100 plus people a month. They all knew my name. I couldn't remember all those names, but I remember their faces. I remember each conversation, because once I saw their face, it's almost like we can pick up where we left off from the last time we saw each other. Real talk. And I did that. That's how I got monetized. That's how my channel got monetized, people. That's how I got beyond those 4,000 watch hours. I think that particular year I did that, I clocked 9,000 watch hours within 365 days, people. This is real talk. Ain't nothing about that is easy. Nothing. Ain't nothing about what I just described to monetize my channel was easy. But now it paid off because that's the base of the pyramid. That's the base and foundation of my YouTube channel, people. Those first 1,000 had a direct impact on my channel earning the YouTube Silver Play Button Award. In order to earn the YouTube Silver Play Button Award, your channel has to reach beyond 100,000 subscribers. Well, I would have never made it to 100,000 subscribers without getting monetized. Real talk, people. You know, that first 1,000 has a direct impact on my channel being into the next stratosphere and being eligible for major brand deals, people. That first 1,000. Not that 300,000 plus. No, the first 1,000 made this thing happen. And that's the work people don't want to talk about. So if a person asks me, oh, I heard it's easy, no, let me tell you something. No, it ain't easy. Let me break this thing down to you people. Because in reality, ain't nothing on this earth that is true value. I don't care what goal you're trying to achieve. It's going to come quick, fast, and easy. And that is to include monetizing your YouTube channel and making significant revenue. Bottom line. That's one of the reasons as a young woman I selected to join the United States Marine Corps with that honorable discharge. They are the toughest of the branch in the world. You going through some stuff to make it through Parris Island, especially the era that I went through back in the Desert Storm era. You're going through some stuff to earn that title. Real talk. And I'm telling you, like, I didn't want no other branch but the Marines. Talk to a Marine during that era. They would tell you what we went through. Real talk. I don't do easy. Easy ain't within my DNA, people. I don't do easy. And I've never done easy, rather it's in the professional world, personal goals, private goals, any shape, form, or fashion. I don't do easy. If somebody tell me something easy, I'm going to run like lightning speed because I know ain't nothing of value gonna come easy, to include monetizing your channel, making significant money on YouTube, and to sustain it and push it into another stratosphere. Real talk. So share this information because, like I said, the driving force for me to do this lecture, because I literally had about 3 or 4 conversations with individuals approaching me. So, yeah, I heard it's easy. I said, no, let me slow you down and break this thing down. Let me tell you about the criteria to get monetized, bottom line. So share this information. And again, do not forget to mark your calendar for March the 29th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another relational live stream lecture on how to develop a successful business goal. This is one lecture you do not want to miss. Rather you miss it or not, I'm going to be where I need to be, and I'm going to be ready to get down to business. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.